I mean, you guys are in a prime location to be selling a lot of this stuff too. You know, I mean, especially some of the kind of the key freestyle snowboards around there too. I mean, it'll definitely be out on the hill this one, so it'll just be nice and convenient for those guys, especially guys that help us out. You know, they can just be like, accessories right down the road, man. Pick up some K2 pizza there, K2 pizza parlor. But so yeah, anyway, I'll go through, I mean, we don't necessarily have to go through like base materials and all different stuff like that. I mean, I'll just kind of highlight some of the kind of the main K2 technologies, I guess, from you guys, and you know, fun little cutouts and things like that. Apparently appropriate ones for what we have here. So yeah, so anyway, everything, I guess I guess we'll start off with the rocker story. In the front side of the catalog, there is kind of a nice little graphic that kind of explains, you know, just has a nice little visual, and it's kind of a nice little thing. And actually, I do have a couple of these little snowboards that hopefully these things will make a little bit more sense once we go through the rocker things, but they're kind of fun to play with and everything too. But besides that, in the very front of the catalog, it does have kind of a nice little description. It shows where the things are flat, where the things are rocker, and explains kind of the customers. But really, in a nutshell, everything, none of your K2 snowboards are going to have camber, right? So in ski land, it's great to have camber because your boot deflexes that camber, and then that ski can flex naturally around that one pivot point. Not quite as much with the snowboards. You're always kind of fighting a little bit of camber in the middle, which you can, you know, I mean, you can flex that board to deflex that thing, but you're always kind of fighting it a little bit. So having it flat in the middle, and for that more of that like free ride customer, the board's going to really easily be able to get in that natural turn shape. You know, just kind of the idea behind like that integrated binding on the skis. So it can easily get into that turn shape. So it's just going to make that board feel a little bit smoother and hold a little bit better edge. And then also for your freestyle riders, just having that board flat underneath the foot just gives them just a really nice flat area to stand on, right? So they can be in the front seat of that board and the back seat of that board. It's always flat and stable underneath of them. And then for somebody, you know, these people are going to be going down the road to buff, you know, and just sliding down rails and boxes. So as they're sliding down areas on those things, it's just this nice, flat, consistent area, just really nice and smooth. They're not, you know, going over V-kinks or anything like that. It's just nice and smooth for that rider. So everything's going to be flat, and then there's going to be just varying degrees of rocker to kind of specialize that board for the particular rider, right? So you're going to start off with flat line, so like your lifelike snowboard, this is flat line. The whole thing's flat, and then up until the tip of the tail, obviously, but the whole thing's flat. So this rider, this is made to be a board more for that all-mountain customer that wants a lot of stability. You know, that whole board is sitting in the snow. When you get that board up on edge, that you have full edge contact basically immediately as that board's up on edge. But as that board, you know, so it's going to be nice and stable, but you don't have all that pressure on the tip and the tail of that camber, right? So it's just going to be a little bit more loose, a little bit more kind of fun feeling. Then once they get it up on edge, boom, you know, you have instant edge contact to drive you through the turn. So that's the flat line. And then some of your rookie boards, like your First Light for the women, in the brigade, it's going to have what's called catch-free rocker. Now all this stuff, all these do have the little silent salesman on the back. It'll say like the catch-free, the different types of rocker. You know, if the binding stance is set back like these two, right in the bottom it'll say, you know, like catch-free rocker. It'll say like 3/4 of an inch set back. So all that's just right there too. That's pretty handy. But so anyway, so these rookie boards has catch-free rocker. You guys are probably familiar with that from the ski land too. But catch-free rocker, I call it rookie rocker, right? It's 95% flat and just a little bit of rocker right on the tip of the tail. So think of that first-time snowboarder or skier. You know, they're sliding around. They might not know what the heck they're doing, but they're sliding around. They want a lot of stability underneath that board and a little bit of rocker on the tip and the tail just to help kind of slide them through those first few turns, right? So that's the catch-free rocker. And then most of your terrain park boards are going to have what's called jib rocker. So it's going to be 80% flat and 20% rocker on the tip and the tail. And so this person wants this particular design, you know, they want that stability, that smoothness for sliding down the rails underneath the foot, and then they want that kind of fun skate feel, you know, on the tip and the tail. So it's going to be, you know, 20% of the board is going to be rocker on the tip and the tail. Just kind of give them that kind of fun spinniness, you know, kind of playfulness, but still all that stability and performance they need. And so like if you look at These little boards here too, like the little catch-free rockers, just a little bit right there, and then the jib rocker is this little blue section on there. Well, the bindings are right here, and the flap spot extends out past the bindings, right? So like I'm standing on here, it doesn't start to get rockered until up in the nose and the tail. So for that person that's flexing that board and loading that board up to jump, they still have a big flat section behind their boards. They still get all that performance that they need, but they still have that playfulness, obviously. So it is kind of a nice performance rocker for that freestyle rider. And then for more your free ride boards, like your ray gun, you're gonna have all-terrain rockers. So you go from like 20% rocker to like 30% rocker, right? So this person is just, they're